Hi, guys. I'm finishing my cigarette. Buddy's like moaning. Pancakes, yeah. Yeah, I tested the sound like a couple times, so cheers everybody. Have a nice day. And hi Bob. Hi Dan. Hi Candy. Hi Nalen's Fish Tanks. Hi Cichlids23. Hi Mr. Science Geek. Hi Full Moon. Hi Max. Hi Jesse. Hey Fish Tropic. Oh my gosh, Joseph's here. I know, I'm talking to myself again. Hi, aquarium monsters. I better give Buddy a cookie or he'll never be quiet. A cookie? What do you do? Okay. Yes, everybody's saying hi, Buddy. Yep, Buddy's ready for his cookies. He likes live streams because he gets cookies. Other than that, he wonders what the hell I'm doing. Hi, Reels Tanks. You notice that I named the live stream after what you said last week. Hi, Daryl. Hi, Big D. Hi, Teresa. Let's see, did I get everybody? You were promised a cookie. I know. See, here. There's a cookie for you, Nayland. Hi, Magic Mom. Now I'm going to give Buddy your cookie. Sit down. There's the cookies. Okay, so what does everybody want to talk about? A Scooby snack, yes. I made notes. Not real good notes, but I made notes. You want real cookies? Well, I'm sorry, I didn't make real cookies. They are real cookies. They're just Buddy cookies. How is the new adopted axolotl doing? Buddy, hush. Okay, one more cookie. Sit down. You have Girl Scout cookies. All right, Benjamin, are you going to share with everybody? Teresa wants Oreos. Oh, how's the newly adopted axolotl doing? He's doing really good. He's starting to get his frills back. You know, the little gill frills. And he doesn't have any fungus left at all. He's doing really good. I've been, well, not making a list. I've been taking notes whenever I thought of something. Sit down. Sit. The Grammi's doing good. I'm going to be sending him to Candy pretty soon. Same day that I send Bob some Daisy's rice fish. Hi, Phil. No store in town has a 2.5 gallon. Oh, well, they could do with a 5 gallon would be good. Yep, the dark side of fish tube. No, it's not good. Well, it's still disorganized because, okay, look at my notes. Can you see my notes? It's rather disorganized. I just kind of like made notes of stuff, and then that reminded me of something else, so I made a note of that. So you have some partial news, Bob? What's your partial news? Did I cut myself on all those damn sword plants, or still I got them floating in a 10 gallon? I hate throwing away plants, but God, I hate sword plants. Oh, you don't have room in your room for a 5 gallon? Try Walmart. I've got the very first betta that I got a couple years ago. He's still in. I got like a 3 gallon tank at Walmart, like a round tube one. and a betta, and I still got him in that same tank, and he does fine. Hey, Priscilla. I'm glad that your little boy's feeling better. I was worried about him. I hate it when babies get sick. Okay, buddy, this is the last cookie. Last one. And then you gotta hush, okay? Can you come here and sit up? Come here. Sit. Last cookie. You're a spoiled dog. Spoiled. Okay. Oh, hi, Denny. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah, he's saying I'm crazy. Okay, hush. Lay down. Lay down. Okay, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Yes, he's better, but still has a cough, but at least we're not in the hospital anymore. Very true. Very true. Big D says Buddy's got his girls going crazy looking for the dog. Yep. Buddy can be noisy. Oh, they come in on Friday? Well, you can wait till Friday. You want the sword plants? I might send them to you. Send me an email. And when we hit a little bit of warmer weather, I'll send them to you. I'm going to have to cut them back, though, because they got like long leaves coming out of the water and stuff. I'm going to cut all that off and just cut it down to the roots and the little bit of main plant. Yay, I know, huh? So Candy's getting snails and the gourami. And Real's going to get the sword plants. Again, no. Actually, Jesse says he'll take the gourami. So, and I got one of the whatchamacallit's, the catfish, the Raphael catfish. He says there's more in the tank, but he caught one of them, so I've got it in a 10-gallon right now, and I'm making sure it's good, and then I'll find it a home. And I've got he thinks he's got 2 or 3 more, plus he's got some anchor cats, so I'll probably be sending them to Mikey. That'd be the easiest thing. Hi, Marsh Aquatics. Down. Hush. I've got a lot of duckweed myself, Priscilla. I don't need duckweed. Hi, Chattanooga Ed. So when everybody's done saying hi, we can decide what our topic's going to be. Hi, Kim. I know nobody wants duckweed. Oh, you love duckweed? Oh my gosh, I'm constantly pulling it out of my tanks. I've got to be careful though in a couple of the tanks because I've accidentally pulled out fish with the duckweed, and I've lost a couple fish that way. So yeah. Send the duckweed to Kevin. I know, huh? Definitely, Frank. Kevin needs duckweed. Hi, Ty. Give me all your duckweed. That sounds like a hold up. You pull out a gun. Give me all your duckweed now. You can come get it. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to grow duckweed. It'll grow anywhere. The only thing that it will not grow is if you have a lot of current. It will not grow in a lot of current because it doesn't like to get wet on top. Joel, hi. In fact, that's one way to get rid of duckweed is to spray the top of it with water and keep spraying it every day, and pretty soon it'll start dying back. And Phil put his address there for everybody. Send him duckweed. I know, I like currant too, and that's the only thing that'll control duckweed. But I've got a lot of tanks that have nothing but sponge filters in them, and they're just duckweed messes. Huh, how did duckweed kill all the fish? Like my goldfish will eat duckweed. In fact, I've got some red root floaters, and they're all mixed up in the duckweed. And how I clean them up is I'll put them in with the. Yes, I did, Priscilla. Don't you feel special? Yeah, the goldfish will eat the duckweed and they'll leave the red root floater alone. So if I want to get a bunch of red root floater in a tank, first I have to make sure there's no duckweed in the tank already. And then I take a bunch of duckweed and red root floater mixed up and put them in with the goldfish. And then after a day or two, I can just scoop out nothing but red root floaters. Red root floaters need a lot of light. Now mine, I can keep them alive, but I can't keep them red. You got to, with them, you got to, however much light you think you need, like the brightest that you can get, and then add more. Oh no, Marsh. You have 3 goldfish and 1 rosy red. I hate it when I sent some fish to Candy and they didn't make it, so I've got to send more, but I'm waiting until I know it's going to be warm, and then I'm going to double heat pack the box, and it's going to be packed so good. Yeah, Jesse's got some. Wow. Must have like cut off all the oxygen, Kim. That's really, really odd. But if there were goldfish in the pond, they should have eaten it. Yeah, the post office has been really bad. I've been like, my paycheck was late this week or last week. Everything has been running really late. Oh, nice. Nice, Big D. I love unexpected fry. Nice. Making a betta tank heavily planted, not totally, because I'm too broke for a filter, but you're doing a scientific experiment. That's cool. Very good. Oh my gosh, Marsh, that's sad. You killed him like a pro, Priscilla. Oh, you know who's missing is Sharpies. He told me he had a good story for tonight, and I do not see him in here. Oh, the catfish, that would be a lack of oxygen then, because they probably wouldn't get up on the surface and eat them. Yeah, it's cool when you just find fry. I've got those little teeny killifish, and I'm just the tank. I very rarely see them because the tank is so crowded, but I'm just kind of hoping I get some fry out of it because it's really heavily planted. Hello, Aranda Power. How's the weather everywhere? The weather is kind of cool here. Oh, that's right. He was late last week too. Yeah. Yep. I know he said he had a good injury story for us that he thought of. So I've got snow on the ground here. And it was in the 20s today, which is warmer than it has been doing. You forgot your water? Well, go get your water. Okay, whenever anybody's ready for a story, tell me. Or if anybody has a story, tell us. Tell us. Oh, 63 would be so wonderful. It's like heaven. 38 and raining, yeah. Oh, Benjamin, okay. We shall try to catch you next week. Hey Haley, how are you doing? Are you at work or are you staying home because you got pneumonia? Bob says ready for a story. And Priscilla says no story, her brain's on standby. Oh, and Joseph says it's 79 outside at 1 a.m. Oh crap. I don't even want to hear that. About a foot of white ice. Ugh. How are you feeling, Haley? Are the meds kicking in? Hi, Cassie. Excuse me. And Teresa says it's story time. Okay, so somebody give me a subject. I wrote down like notes. Haley looks like she's been punched. Dang. I know she said her eyes were swelling. You're hopefully back to work tomorrow. Don't push it. If you got pneumonia, don't push it. Bob says sex. No sex stories. I'm not going to do that. It's too early for a poo story. I got like a short story. If you guys want to hear a real quick short story, start it off and see if anybody else has a story. This one's a really short story. And some of you heard it already. And I know Dan did because I had it in one of my, in fact, I saved it. There's a picture on one of my videos in the openings, in just the opening part that I do. And it's a picture of a real pretty black and white striped vase. Kind of a vase. You guys want to hear the story behind that? Oh, I got to switch from top chat to all chat because last time we were missing some. So anybody that's on top chat, switch it over to live chat. Oh, what did Bob say? Oh, Bob loves a quickie. Oh, my God. Okay. This is a story about when I was working in Cheyenne, and I was working at the deli. So, and I worked closing shifts, so it was like 2:30 to 11, but usually I didn't get off till 11:30 or so. And sometimes later than that. So I'd get home like driving over the pass in the wintertime. Sometimes it was like 1 or 2 in the morning before I got home. But anyway, so a quick story, Bob. Story. Anyway, so I got home one night and Megan had, she was about 18, 19. And she had gone to bed already, of course, because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I walk in the door, and on the kitchen table is this really pretty black and white striped vase with a little thing on the side of it. Hi, Jeffrey. So, yeah, that is what I said to that, Candy. So anyway, so I get home, and basically she had company over, and she'd left her bong sitting on the table. And I was looking at it, and it was real pretty and black and white striped and stuff. And I wasn't going to yell at her because, I mean, you know, good grief, she's like 18, 19. It's not going to do any good to scream at her or wake her up. So I just didn't say anything. And I took the vase and put it in the cupboard. Yeah, you've heard this one before. I've told it before, I'm pretty sure. So I put the vase in the cupboard, and the next night when I got off work, I got a bouquet of real pretty pink carnations. And when I came home, I took out her little vase and I filled it up with pink carnations, and I put it in the middle of the kitchen table. And the next morning I was having my coffee, and she got up and she walks out into the kitchen, and she's like, she looks at the table and she's like, "Oh, somebody got you flowers. What the hell, Mom?" And I started laughing. It was pretty funny. Yeah. So on that one video that I put I'll do it one more time. Like I say, in the openings of this video, there's a pretty black and white vase with pink carnations in it, and that's what that is. When I was a little kid, a morning radio station said something about quickies, and I asked my dad, what's a quickie? And he said, you'll find out when you're older. Okay, yep. A nooner, yeah. How do we get on these subjects, you guys? I wasn't talking about that stuff. It was the morning jingle, the dark side. Yep, that's what happens. So, I got a bunch of stuff written down. That one, actually, I've told that story before, so that one didn't really count. So, do you guys want to hear about when I had a Pinto? A car, one of those god-awful little cars. Like melted ice cream. Oh, there goes your paychecks, Priscilla. Oh no, cichlids. Pintos, don't they blow up? I think they do, yeah, if you rear end them. Mine didn't blow up. When I got it, your mom had a Pinto? She used to let you shift? Gas leak in the back. Yeah, if there's a gas leak in the back, the tank's in the back of it. So you don't want to rear end one. But this particular Pinto, I got it after a really nice truck, which I'll tell you about that next if you want. But got this Pinto and it was bright yellow. Yeah, the rear end explosion, yep. And anyway, so I got this Pinto and it was like bright yellow. My kids said that we could park like underneath the McDonald's sign and like be camouflaged because it was that yellow. Hey, Carson. Cool. Rear end explosion, yep. Oh, no, you aren't Carson? What did Carson say? Oh, you're new here. Yeah, right, Carson. Yeah, Carson, I know. Anyway, so I got this Pinto, and the head gasket went out on it. And I made an appointment with a friend to get it fixed, but he didn't have time for like 2 weeks. So I had to drive it that way, and I was like 20 miles out of town. And it would use up so much oil. Like you'd pour the oil in, and you could hear it and see it dripping out the bottom of the car while you were pouring it in, filling it up. So I would like fill it up with oil, and I'd drive like hell, and I'd keep an eye on the rearview mirror because it was like blowing black smoke, like a lot of black smoke. So it was blowing black smoke, and I'd watch the rearview mirror, and when the smoke cleared and I could see behind me, I knew it was almost out of oil, and I'd pull over to the side of the road, fill it up with oil again, and go like hell. Usually with like one fill halfway to town, I'd make it to work, and then I'd do the same thing going home again. So, yeah. My kids called it a comet. In fact, they named it the Comet after that because it was bright yellow with this big black ball of smoke behind it. And so anyway, so I used a lot of oil going back and forth for that 2 weeks. Because like I said, I'd stop and just pour the oil in and then go like hell. Mosquito killer, yeah. Well, my kids called it the Comet because a big yellow ball with a flame behind it. But anyway, so this one night, it was after I had left my ex-husband, and I needed to get to town and get some oil, and I had none, and I had to get some oil, and this guy that used to give my kids Bible lessons was over visiting. So he said I could take his car. Well, also visiting the kids was their dad. So for some odd reason, he decided that he had to go with me when I went into Moses Lake to get oil. And I was like, okay, so he is driving. And we borrowed the kids' friend's car. And we go into Moses Lake to get some oil. We go to the auto place in Moses Lake, which is about 40 miles from where I live. And as we were pulling up in the parking lot, my ex-husband asked me what the chances were of us getting back together again. And like a dummy, I said fat chance. And then I went in and got the case of oil, and I come out with a case of oil in my hands and open up the door, and he starts backing up. So I'm like running and putting the oil in the car and then running and jumping in the car while he's backing out of the driveway. You have to listen between the sentences. So anyway, so yeah, I had to he was pissed off because I told him I wasn't getting back together with him. So whenever he got mad, he drove like an idiot. So I'm like having to run and jump in the car with a case of oil and all that crap. So we get in the car and we're on our way home back to my house. And he's driving like an idiot, like all over the road and stuff. So I told him, I said, why don't you watch where you're going? This isn't even your car. Don't wreck the car. So he comes to a screeching stop, and I mean screeching stop, with like smoke behind us and everything, and he pulls off the side of the road. Hi, Bentley. Hi. Anyway, so he pulls off the side of the road, and he told me if I thought I could drive better than I could drive, and I was like, okay. And then he gets out and he starts walking down the shoulder of the road. Is anybody listening to me? Exes should go to Texas. Yes. So anyway, so he's walking down the side of the road, and I slid over into the driver's seat. And I pulled up beside him, and I rolled down the window, and I said, it's 40 miles back to my house, and I don't really give a shit if you walk or not. I mean, I really don't care. You can either get in right now or you can walk back. I don't care. So he got in, and I started down the road. Hi, Carson. Oh, no, you're having a stream at the same time? Anyway, so he got in the car, and I'm driving, and he said, I'm a better driver than you are. And I said, oh? And he says, yeah. He says, I'm not the one that wrecked a car. And I was like, good grief. That was like when I was 19 years old. That's really stupid. And then he's like, oh, yeah, well, you're really stupid. So I looked at him, and I said, oh, yeah? My dad can beat up your dad. And he shut up. So that was it. That was that story. So who else has a story tonight? You won the mega box from my aquarium box. Very nice. Cool. You were hoping he was getting covered in oil? Yeah. Did I say all my stories on my notes? Oh, good grief. No, look at this. Look at this, Carson. And that one's not even on there. This is like 3 or 4 weeks worth easily. And then I'll probably think of more. I thought of a couple last night. And then I don't know what. I forgot to write them down. I know there's a giant puppy behind me, and he wonders who I'm talking to. Come over here. I think I got one more cookie for you. This is the last one. What do? That's good. You sit. And that's it. I'll have to get another box of cookies. What did Chattanooga say? Oh, about winning the aquarium box. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, Carson, we'll see you later. Don't forget our date later. Yeah, buddies, I'm out of cookies. Poor buddy. Sit down. Sit. Go lay down. Lay down. Hurry back, Carson. Okay, does anybody... It's a date. You want to see the shrimp again? And how long do you think till I have shrimplets? I don't know. It's totally so many variables to that. Your Doberman's looking around for the source of the barking. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. That's about how long this box lasted. About a month. I knew it was running out too. I should have got more, but I didn't. Uh-oh, Priscilla forgot to eat dinner. Okay, I'm going to put you guys, because I'm going to have a cigarette, and then, wait, I finally went to my local fish club meeting and had a good time. Won a Matin filter, nice, for a 20-gallon. Going to go back to the next one with BAP and HAP papers and specimens, nice. I know, bad mom, I ran out of cookies. Yeah, I wish I could do it, but I really can't. No cigarettes. That's why I'm going to put the camera so that, I don't have to say that I'm having a cigarette. And Bob needs to see the rice fish. Right? Right, buddy. I'm going to move the camera over there now. Maybe. Say hi, buddy. Say hi, buddy. Say hi. Can you say hi? Okay. Hang on. Go eat your dinner. Go eat your dinner. I know I gave you dinner just a few minutes ago. Go eat your dinner. Rice fish. You got to come over and eat. And microworms. Everybody gets to look at the microworms. I don't know where the rice fish ducked and hid. I don't know why. But I just remembered the story that I was going to write, that I thought of when I was laying in bed last night. Yeah, oh my God, 18-year-old sons can eat a lot. And that's how big my son is too. Only he's like 6'3" and about 275 pounds. And oh my God, yeah, when he was living with me, he ate a lot. And I've got 2 cats that think they got to eat all the time for some reason. Plus Buddy, plus all the fish. Oh, you want to hear the story, Candy? If everybody's ready, but I know some people are asking questions and stuff, so we might wait a minute. Yeah, I don't know where the rice fish kind of ducked down and hid. I think Buddy scared him with its barking. But they'll come get it. You guys need to tell stories too, not just me. But okay, I'll tell this one. This was cool your jets. Bob, you're so mean. Oh my God. Anyway, I thought of this time that I was out on a horseback ride with my ex-husband. And we were riding through the sagebrush and stuff, right? In eastern Washington, which is kind of semi-arid. What kind of turtles? Who got turtles? Hush it, Bob. Oh my gosh. I don't know why the rice fish are still hiding. That's really weird. Hi, Merritt. How are you? Okay, horseback ride. So we were on a horseback ride. And my ex-husband, he decided, hi, Susan. Oh, hi, Kevin. You're just in time for a story. No, I'm not done smoking yet. I just barely lit it. A mud turtle, that's cool. No, not yet, Phil. We are on the dark side, yep. Okay, anyway, so we're out on a horseback ride. And my ex-husband, he's got to go pee, right? So he gets off his horse. And I'm like, you got to picture this, because I'm sitting on my horse. And he hands me his reins for his horse to hang on to his horse while he goes to the bathroom, right? Now, you guys out there, I know you know this is true. When a guy's got to go to the bathroom, he always picks the highest spot, right? And we're kind of like in the desert, like I said, with sagebrush and stuff. And I look over, and he's got his back to me, and he's going pee. Hi, Dr. S. Yeah, we had to see a man about a horse. Exactly. That's a pretty good one, Phil. That's funny. Okay, this is not a poop story. No, he's going pee. That's different. So anyway, I look over there, and he's got his back to me, and he is standing on an anthill. Now, those of you that have been like in semi-arid areas, these ants are like, they're small red ants, but their heads are like the same size as their bodies. Like half of the length of them is head with pinchers. And they make these little ant hills that'll go up about a foot or so. And they're like made out of real fine gravel. And like I say, half of their head is pinchers. And it hurts when they bite you too. But anyway, I looked over, and he is standing on the anthill with his back to me. And I started to say something, and I thought, really, is it my business where he goes to the bathroom at? I mean, it's not my place to tell him where he should and shouldn't go to the bathroom, right? I mean, you guys agree with me, right? So I didn't say anything. So he finishes going to the bathroom, and he comes back, and I hand him the reins to his horse. And I remember he looked up at me, and he said, "What are you grinning about?" Hi, Kevin. He said, "What are you grinning about?" And I'm like, "Nothing," right? And so he jumps on his horse, and I'm following behind him. And we only got like maybe 12 feet down the trail. And excuse me for repeating what he said, but all of a sudden he goes, "Jesus Christ, what the hell?" And he jumps off his horse, and he whips down his pants, and he's like slapping his legs all over the place. And I started laughing. And I said, "It's probably ants." Ha ha ha. I probably could have totally got away with it, except that I started laughing so hard. So yeah. So that was one story I thought of last night. But I mean, really, it's not my place to tell a man where to go to the bathroom at. But have you guys ever noticed I mean, you guys, I know you do it. You always look for the tallest place to stand to go pee. So that's what you get. Oh, Bob gave me an 8. Yay. He usually gives me like a 2 or a 3. He's being generous tonight, yeah. That's right, Ed. That's exactly right. So that's what happens. uh, and I'm going to tell you too, those ants, they'll leave welts. When they bite you, they leave little welts. You look for someplace inconspicuous? Well, yeah, but we were out in the middle of the sagebrush. There was no totally inconspicuous spot. Oh, Kevin, that's nasty. Must have been somebody you didn't like. Yep, there's the poop story from Kevin. Now, when I was a kid, those damn ant hills. When I was a kid, we used to like. I know I've told you guys this part of it before. We like my dad's only hobby was hunting arrowheads. So during the week, we'd go down to the river because I lived close to Portland, Oregon. And during the week, my dad had a boat and we'd go on the river, and he knew where there were different old villages and stuff, and we'd go hunt arrowheads. And on the weekends, we'd go to Eastern Oregon. And the difference being that the arrowheads on the river would be real fine, like small points, but like real delicate and nicely made, you know. And in Eastern Oregon, the you get like great big ones, but they were a little bit cruder, but they were huge and out of obsidian. And the ones on the river would be out of different kinds of agate and jade and stuff. But as a general rule, the ones in Eastern Oregon were big knives and stuff, and they were made out of obsidian. But anyway, we used to go there every weekend, and we'd spend the whole weekend out walking through the sagebrush and stuff. And I used to take, and I don't know how I didn't, this is how I know that they do cause welts, because I got bit once in a while, but if you turn over the dry cow pies, you'd find these little white scorpions that were about 1 inch long. And then I'd like take a stick and stir up an ant hill and throw the scorpion in the middle of the ants. And I know that sounds mean, and it was kind of mean. I was a mean kid, I guess. But actually, the scorpions would usually win, but they'd have like ants in their pinchers, and they'd have shish kebabbed ants on their tail. And yeah, that's when you're a kid, those things are cool. But you don't want to really mess with those ants because they bite hard. Kevin used to eat bugs. Why am I not surprised? Your scorpion has eaten your ants. Bullet ants, those are those ones in South America. No, I don't want to mess with those either. I've read that those really, really hurt. No, yeah, you'd think the ants would win, but no, the scorpion usually walk out of there, but he'd have like ants in his pinchers, and like say it's the stinger, he'd have like shish kebabbed ants. Hey, Sharpies, there he is. Yay. We were talking about you a little while ago, wondering where you were at. Yeah, bullet ants and Peru. That I've read about those, Joseph, and I would not want to get bit by one of those at all. At all, at all. It makes me cringe thinking about it. One time I found a scorpion that was, the scorpions in Eastern Oregon are only about 1 inch long. But one time I found one that its whole back was covered with baby scorpions. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I called my mom over because she wasn't too far away, and I called her over to see it. And she's like, oh my gosh, she says, I want to take it home and show it to the ladies at the coffee shop, because she went to the coffee shop every morning and visited. So she said she wanted to take it home. So I was like, well, do you have something to put it in? Good night, Susan. Thanks for stopping by. So anyway, I asked her if she had something to put it in. She said, yeah. So she goes to the truck and she comes back with one of those small pink paper bags from the pharmacy. I mean, literally just a little paper bag. She wanted me to put the scorpion in a paper bag. And I was like, no, I am not going to put a scorpion in a paper bag, Mom. So she looked really disappointed and she's like, oh, okay. And then she's standing there like with the paper bag behind her back, waiting for me to leave. And I was like, I am not going to go spend 12 hours in the car going home knowing that there's a scorpion in the truck somewhere. There's just no. So I had to stomp on it. And she got really mad at me. And she was like, I was going to keep it. And I was like, I know you were, Mom. But no. I know I'd rather not get bit by anything. But definitely not a scorpion covered with babies. And there's a reason for that I knew what could happen. If you guys want to hear that, give me a minute. I'll tell you why I knew that something like that could get loose. That scorpion could have rocked me like a hurricane. Yeah. I never got stung by a scorpion, one of them out there. Imagine they're so small. I bet it'd be about like a bee sting, but I didn't really want to find out. Sharpies, you're one of those. Mosquitoes do not like me. They have never liked me. It's like I can be standing in a crowd and everybody's getting bit by mosquitoes and they totally leave me alone. Ty says he loved arrowhead hunting. Did that when he was young too. Yeah, I spent the whole time I was growing up, I spent arrowhead hunting. And we dealt with not just scorpions, but rattlesnakes and stuff like that too. Because there's quite a few rattlesnakes in Eastern Oregon. But we carried these long stakes with a pointy thing on the end of them. I think they're for digging up dandelions or something. We always carried those with us when we were out walking. They were to knock the brush ahead of us to make sure that there wasn't a rattlesnake there. And also to kill rattlesnakes with. And we would kill the rattlesnakes and cut their rattle off because my dad liked to save the rattles too. When I was a kid in Mexico, we would travel to an island by boat to stay in a tiny little tourist spot. The cottages were only bamboo and mosquito net, and the power would go out like 10 o'clock every night. That sounds like actually like a lot of fun. Oh, you could hear the scorpions crawling on the bamboo. That does not sound like fun. Hi, Ron. How are you tonight? Ooh, a hornet. Hornets can, like, because I've had it happen to me, they can bite and sting at the same time. And they hurt. You had to go to the bathroom at night. Ooh, a scorpion on your shoulder. Ooh, I don't like scorpions. That's what a lot of people keep, those big black ones as pets. And it's like Megan wanted to get one. And I just had this vision of it getting out and having a scorpion running around the house. And I was like, no scorpions, no spiders for pets. Yeah, I'll bet. I'd be scared to go outside too. Yeah. I used to hang my laundry on a line, and I didn't get scorpions in it, but I'd get those bald face hornets, those big hornets. And they especially like to get inside of the socks. And I always take my socks and roll the pairs together. And I got stung on the hands so many times when I'd be folding laundry. Took jeans off the line once and it had a hornet in them. Yeah. Yep. The hornets like to get in the damp clothes. I found that out. I got stung so many times. Oh, man, Sharpie, that's awful. Ugh. No, you don't miss my face. Look, the rice fish are out. Sharpies is a walking accident. Your dad was twisting up the toilet paper and burning it on the floor. Ugh. Cottonmouth and water moccasins are just as bad. Oh, Max. Oh, I'd be screaming. Spiders and chocolate. I've heard of people like, yeah, you put ants and stuff and dip them in chocolate. Some people say they're good. I have not eaten them. Spidery fresh, yeah. Ooh, cream filled. Nice. Yuck. Hi, Marlene. It's illegal to kill snakes there? Huh. It's not illegal to kill them in Eastern Oregon. We killed a lot of snakes, but there was a couple places that had old villages, which were the best places to find arrowheads. And there was two different places that we went to fairly frequently that had rattlesnake dens in the middle of the ridges. So there were snakes like everywhere. And I mean everywhere. I mean, there were snakes like, I think I counted like 20 snakes one day when we walked through. It's about a block long. They found a snake there a couple weeks ago. Huh. Salted caramel scorpions. Ugh. You ate a deep fried grasshopper once? That probably wouldn't be that bad if it was cooked. They were talking, I've read articles before where in the future that might be like the best source of protein is bugs. If people can, get past the eating of bugs, they're a really good source of protein. What kind of shrimp? Oh, the shrimp in there are just like mutt shrimp. They started out being a poor line of blue ones, and there was like they started having babies, and just everything in the world came out. So they're just kind of in all my tanks. Somebody smuggled a snake in. Yeah, I don't think they want snakes in Hawaii. Hubby dreamed his gum fell out of his mouth and took his tongue and flipped it back in and started chewing it, and it was a woolly worm. Oh, yuck. Oh, I have no doubt you've been bit by a snake, Sharpies. Deep fried rattlesnake. Yeah, I've eaten rattlesnake before. It's kind of doesn't taste real bad, but it's kind of chewy. Buddy, hush. Snails, yeah, people eat escargot a lot. I have tried it and did not like it at all. It was not good. Actually, it was my sister-in-law who was Filipino. She got like a couple great big like gallon jars of salted snails, and they were not good. It was no, that was a little bit too much for me. I couldn't eat them. You have a blind snake and a green garden snake. I didn't know. Our mongoose are not native there, are they, Joseph? Oh no, Priscilla. You have a Hawaiian snake, but it's not a true snake, huh? Oh yeah, the mongoose. I didn't think they'd be native. Oh, they brought them in to control rats in Hawaii. Huh? Hi, tilapia store. I think aren't they from India, Max? If I remember right, I think mongoose are from India. The one, oh, Sharpie, yeah. I'm not even going to repeat that. I'm out of cookies. Go eat your dinner. Go eat your dinner. Go eat your dinner. Go on, go eat your dinner. Oh, my goodness. Oh, good night, Ron. Okay, so have you guys ever seen a, this is the other one that I thought of last night. Have you guys ever seen a Jerusalem cricket? I had to look it up. When I found one, I had to look it up to see what in the hell it was. And I don't remember if I told this story or not before. But a Jerusalem cricket is a bug, and it looks like, I don't know if you guys have seen the old toys. When I was a kid, we had these old game called cootie bugs. And it was like little plastic parts that you put together, and it looked like an ant when you were done. It had like the legs, and it had thick antennas with a ball on the end. But anyway, that's what the Jerusalem crickets look like, a cootie bug, except they have huge pinchers. I mean, like great big pinchers in front, and then they have these real thick antennas with balls on them, and great big, hi Carson, and great big thick legs. Hi, Fantastic Hobbies. So, okay, so a few people have seen them. Well, we were out arrowhead hunting, and this particular weekend we had a friend with us. And this friend, her name was Kathy, and she was like a tomboy. She was friends with my mom and dad, and she was like a tomboy. I loved her. She had all kinds of animals. She had a pet snake and a pet skunk and a pet raccoon, and she had turtles, and she had all kinds of animals. And she was like really definitely like a tomboy. Well, this particular weekend, she was with us. And I was out walking, and I turned over a cow pie, and there was this weird looking bug. And they're about a little bit, maybe an inch and a half long, inch to an inch and a half long. And that's what it was a Jerusalem cricket. But at the time, I didn't know what it was. And I was like a sophomore in high school, and I was in biology class. So I decided that I needed to take this thing home with me and, take it to biology class. Yeah, I spent my whole childhood hunting arrowheads, Tennessee. But anyway, so what's a cow pie and why did you flip it over? Oh, that's right, you're from Hawaii. A cow pie is where a cow goes poop, and then it spreads out, and then it dries in the sun, so it's hard. A lot of people burn them in fires and stuff, but we never did that. I know, why is the running theme of me turning over cow poop? A cow patty, yeah, but they're dried. So we call them cow pies. It's cow poop, Jesse. It's cow poop. Dried cow poop. And you can pick them up and throw them like a saucer. Those are Daisy's rice fish. Yep, exactly, Sharpies. Get a good cow pie and you can frisbee it. Yep. It's like a poop frisbee. Oh, good night, Marsh. Anyway, so I found this Jerusalem cricket and I wanted to take it home with me. And I went and looked in our car, and the only thing that I could find was one of those glass Coke bottles. Actually, I think I found it on the ground. One of those old green glass Coke bottles. So I like maneuvered it into the Coke bottle, which was not easy, but I got it in there. Got it down the bottom of the Coke bottle. And then I took a paper towel and wadded it up and used it for a stopper, to stop the top of the Coke bottle. I think there's cows in Hawaii. I've seen cows in Hawaii. Anyway, good night, Marsh. Anyway, so I got this Jerusalem cricket into the Coke bottle. And I was showing Mom and Dad and everybody, because it's a really weird looking bug. I mean, a really weird looking bug and nasty with those pinchers in the front. And it looked like something from outer space with the real thick antennas with balls on the end of them. So, hi, Melvin. No, you don't want to flip a fresh one over. Okay, so anyway, where was I? Candy has 406 subs. Awesome. Everybody go sub Candy that hasn't yet. And Carson's talking about the fish that he got. I'll finish the story and then I'll go back and read up some on the checks. I know I'm missing stuff. And I'm not sure if everybody's listening to it anyway. But anyway, so I got this Jerusalem cricket. I got it in the Coke bottle and stopped it up with a paper towel. And at the end of the weekend, we were going home. And it was dark. And me and my brother were sitting in the back seat. And my mom and dad and Kathy were in the front seat, right? Kathy was in the middle. And my brother nudged me. And he handed me the Coke bottle. And I picked up the Coke bottle. And you know how it's like super dark in the car. But I held it up like when a car was going by, coming towards us so I could see it in the headlights. And the damn Coke bottle was empty. There was nothing in the Coke bottle. It was empty. So me and my brother kind of looked at each other and we didn't say anything. And we're just like, oh, shit. And yeah, oh, no was right. So we got it. We got down the road. It wasn't even 5 minutes later. And all of a sudden, my mom and dad's friend, Kathy, lets out this blood-curdling scream. And my dad pulls off the side of the road and she's screaming and hitting the front of her shirt. And my mom got out of her way and she jumped out of the car and she's like jumping up and down and slapping the front of her shirt and screaming hysterically. And my dad stops and he just looks at me. And I'm just kind of like sinking down into the seat, and my dad's like glaring at me. And Kathy is screaming bloody murder. So, they got her. Yeah, we found it. So she got calmed down. And my dad told her not to worry, that, it probably fell out of the car when she jumped out and it was gone. And he took the flashlight and shined it all over the front seat and underneath the seat and stuff. Hi, Heather. And made sure that there was no bug left in the car anywhere, right? So we got down the road a little ways. And Kathy lets out, and she's sitting in the car seat with her knees drawn up and her feet on the seat, And all of a sudden she lets out another blood-curdling scream. And we pull off the road. And by this time, my mom is laughing hysterically. And Kathy's screaming her head off. And my dad's glaring at me. And yeah, it was a fun trip home. So that was, the Jerusalem cricket never made it home to biology class. So that's why when my mom wanted to take that scorpion home in a paper bag, I was like, no, absolutely no. Yeah, I like the Daisy's rice fish. They're really nice little fish. See, my dad led my brother's Royal Ranger group at church. They had a festival. Dad made a cow patty tossing booth. Yeah, I've seen people do that before too. Put insulation foam on frisbees, painted them brown, and a couple bales of hay. I've seen I remember seeing like in Texas or someplace they actually have cow pie tossing contests. But they're like dried hard. And I've read before that if you take a cow pie and throw it in the fire, the smoke that it makes will drive away mosquitoes. It's not snowing in Hawaii. There's no way, unless way up in the mountains, Carson. Seriously? If it's snowing there, it's got to be like way up at the top of one of the mountains. Not everybody touches cow crap here. Oh my God, Kenny, you didn't grow up like I grew up. And actually, I wouldn't, when I was like finding scorpions and stuff, I used a long stake because we carried these dandelion diggers. And they're like a long stake with a little pointy metal piece at the end of them. And we always carried them, and that's what I'd turn over the cow pies with. You're in Nebraska and you've never touched a cow patty. You are missing out, Heather. You missed out in life. There's nothing dangerous about burning cow patties. That I read that the smoke that they make will drive mosquitoes off. You hear a lot of cow crap? Yeah. No cow pie eating contest. Nope. Exploding cow patties. That would be rather bad. Oh, man. Cow patty methane bombs. It was snowing in the lower elevations of Hawaii. Seriously? It couldn't have been sticking because it's like Jesse was complaining because it was 65 degrees. That's too warm for snow to stick. Yeah, it's got to be up in the higher elevations. Your dogs be letting off methane bombs. Yep, make a snowman. Big dog farts are the worst. Oh, yeah. There's snow only on the mountains. Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if it didn't snow on the mountains, but not down low. Cow patties make great kindling for trash piles. Yeah, they burn. The fire that took your ex's eyebrows. Oh my gosh. A Sandman contest. Yep. It was in the state park. Huh? Hi, Lilani. It snowed on Maui. I should have watched the news today. That's kind of cool. But like I say, it's got to be in the higher elevations. But that is pretty cool. Oh, no, you had to wear 2 layers. Did it get down to 60? You can picture Joseph building a snowman out of sticks and almond leaves. Yep, that would work. Oh no, 58 degrees. Oh my God. If it got to 58 here, I'd have all my windows open because it would be wonderful letting in fresh air. But it's going to be a few months before I can do that. Oh my gosh, that's so silly, Sharpie. Do I sell fry? Yeah. I've got some coming up right now, but they grow real slow, the Daisy's rice fish. The ones that are in this tank, most of them are fry that I've grown. And there's probably, I don't know how many's in there, but most of them I've got some traded to Jesse for a mud skipper or 2 mud skippers. And 6 of them are going to Candy. But I've got 2 tubs of fry coming up. So when they get big enough, I'd be selling them. Uh-oh, what did Kevin say? You can build a brown snowman. Yeah, well, when you have a bunch of dogs and you start rolling a ball for a snowman in the yard, yeah. That's happened to us many times when my kids were little and went to go build a snowman. They end up with brown spots all over the snowman. You should be at 670 subs if YouTube fixes its glitch. I don't know what's up with the sub thing. It's like I've given up even watching. I don't know how many I have now. But I'll go up 2 or 3 and then I'll drop down 5. And then I'll go up again, then I'll drop way down again. And it's just like, yeah. Oh, cool. That's very good, Bob. I'm glad they're doing good. I am glad they are doing good. They also grow really slow. I've got a bunch of them coming up too, but they're really slow growers. The mouse will be a corn cob. Your ex came home from the ranch without any brows one day. Oh my gosh. Is YouTube deleting dormant or fake accounts? I don't know. It's like I try not to like encourage the people that come in and want to sub for sub because it seems to me that they drop right off. Like you'll gain a couple subs and then you'll lose more. So I just don't pay attention to it. Yeah, exactly, Lilani. That's what happens. So I don't know what's up with it, but I've been stuck at I think I'm around 460 and I've been there forever. And it goes up and then it goes back down, goes up, goes back down. $471. Oh, yeah, it'll probably drop tomorrow. When you get off disability and get yourself a job, I'll buy a flock of rice fishes from you. I'll probably have them because I'm constantly like breeding more, and I've got, like I said, I've got 2 tubs of little ones that I'm raising right now. I'm at 472. Cool. I went up a bit. But like I say, I try not to watch because it's probably going to drop down again. I just don't worry about it. It is what it is. Welcome back, Jesse. You didn't miss much. You missed Kevin talking about building a brown snowman. Oh, yeah, we were talking about it snowing in Hawaii. You were at 867 for 4 months, and all of a sudden one day it jumped to 997. Wow. And Melvin's at over 600. Good for you, Melvin. I say I'm 500 is like a long ways away for me yet. Yeah, my channel started out, my daughter wanted to start one and she was like too young, so I started it up for her. So for a lot of years, she just watched stuff with it. And then I started making videos. Well, when you're ready, Phil, let me know. And like I said, it's going to be a while for them to be big enough. The ones I got coming up, but I'll cut you a deal on them. I got home from work one day. You guys talking about eyebrows? And I got home from work one day, and Megan's dad had decided to get some of that Just for Men stuff, and he dyed his beard because it was getting a lot of gray in it. And for some god awful reason, he decided to do his eyebrows at the same time. So his eyebrows were like these black slashes because he had dyed them. I called him Monkey Boy for about a month and a half till they started wearing off. I called him Monkey Boy every time I looked at him. Candy's going to pass me up pretty soon, and don't feel bad about it, Candy. Everybody loves the super mod. Oh, Jesse used to go snowboarding once a year. Cool. That's right. Candy works hard. I'm like a mod on a bunch of channels, and like I'll go to put something on and Candy beats it to me every time. Candy is super mod. Super mod god. Oh, you never know, Phil. I went like 9 years, seven years. I went a lot of years without working. I was like, did nothing but my art. And then when I decided I needed a job, it's like I found one really fast. And I was like 60 years old. So it wasn't that hard to find a job, even though I figured that nobody would hire me because I was 60 years old. Oh, hi, Ginger. It's the Fish Tube After Dark crowd. Yep. You'll just sleep after school tomorrow. Well, don't stay up too late. Yeah, Candy needs to upload a video. It would break records for the first video being watched the most times. You'll be 43 next month, and the last you worked was when you were 28. Yeah, well, like I said, I was 60 years old, and I hadn't worked for years, and I found a job within like 2 weeks when I started looking. Yep, Candy's first video would go viral. It definitely would. I think you can have fish on your carry-on. I think you'd have to look it up, but I think you can have some. You just can't have a lot. And if you're traveling like internationally, I think that you have to wait for customs to check what kind of fish you have. And yes, I have a lot more stories. But everybody's talking about snowboarding and stuff, and I don't have snowboarding stories. Oh my God, I can tell you a real quick one. I don't remember if I've told you guys this one or not. But this was really funny. Oh, let's hear Sharpie's story first. Sharpie has an accident story from work last week. And I know it's going to make me cringe. And while he's typing, I'm going to go get myself another cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Mountain bike's pretty close to snowboarding? Nah, I don't think so. You fell out of a ski lift once? That's why I don't go skiing, because I am terrified of heights. And the very thought of sitting on one of those ski lifts terrifies me. I don't know if Sharpie's has all of his fingers and toes. I know, I bet you they've all been broken at one time or another. Yeah. Yep, that's right, full moon. Unloading a lorry and had a full roller of wine and spirits. Around 500 pounds of weight of booze. One of the wheels folded under the weight and left me to catch it and hold it up. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, it could have been a whole lot worse. A bruised shoulder is nothing. Yeah, what's a lorry? I'm assuming it's maybe a truck? Semi-truck, yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. Caleb is the main man. Oh, a canoe trip down the Mississippi. That sounds like a load of fun. Good night, Tilapia. Okay, did I tell you guys about my ex-sister-in-law getting a rabbit from me for a pet? Bob will tell me if I already told this story. Did I already tell this story, Bob? It's just a really short story. Okay. So my ex-sister-in-law, she wanted a pet rabbit, and I raised rabbits. And actually, we ate them, but she wanted a pet rabbit. So I picked out a really cute little baby that was like black and white spotted. Kevin says yes. Yeah, he thinks he's heard them all. Anyway, so she got this little rabbit, and it was a female, and she named it George. See, I called it, Sharpie. That's what I said, is that you probably have all your fingers and toes, but probably all of them have been broken at one time or another. Yeah, I like rabbit. But anyway, so she got this pet rabbit, and they had like a cyclone fence around their yard. This was in the Dalles, Oregon. And they had a cyclone fence around their yard. And so she just like made it like a little doghouse type thing, and she just kept it in the yard. And when it was raining and stuff, it would go in its little doghouse. So she had George for about 2 years. And she loved that rabbit. I mean, she loved that rabbit. But she called me up one day, and she said that I needed to come get George and take George back. Well, the rabbit was old enough. I really didn't want it back because, you know, it was a couple years old and big and fat, and it was a pet. And she would have a heart attack if I butchered it, right? So anyway, I'm looking at Kevin's comment there. So anyway, I asked her, she said, you have to take George back. And I said, why? Why don't you want George anymore? And she told me that there was a lot of skunks in the neighborhood, and she was afraid that George was going to breed with the skunks. And I was like, oh, good God, Linnell. I said, skunks and rabbits will not breed, right? I mean, this is just basic common sense. Skunks and rabbits won't breed. And she said, yes, they will. And I'm like, no, they won't, Linnell. And she said, yes, they will. I was listening to the radio, and they were talking about the big problem that they were having with rabbit skunks in Portland. Like, it took me a minute. Like, rabbit skunks. I was like, oh my God. I know, it was definitely one of those oh my God moments. Rabbit skunks, yeah. Oh dear. Oh. Yeah. I know, Kevin. Wow. Hi, Jamie. We were just talking about rabbit skunks, which is not the same thing as a jackalope. Oh my God, Bob gave me a 9. Oh, it tastes like chicken, yeah. Max in the reel says that's a 10, so there, Bob. Candy too. Oh. Oh, Kevin gives me a 9.9.5. Did I say hi to Jamie? I think I did. What is a rabbit deer bred with a rabbit skunk? Okay, it's time for somebody else to talk and tell a story. And oh dear, yeah. Yep. Can you get out of rice fish jail now? You will Google what a rabbit skunk is. Oh my God, not really, Jesse. You're kidding, right? Skunks are your rivals when it comes to flatulence? Yeah. You have a pretty cool story. My pug is snoring the end. Oh my God, my cat, Mario, the fat gray cat, he snores at night. And he always has to sleep with me. He always has had to sleep with me. And he has this wheezing snore that drives me nuts. It's like a squeaking sound, like he's having trouble breathing or something. And oh my God, it just wakes me up, and I'm laying there listening to him. It's like, knock it off. Okay, I know somebody has a good story. Your Tweenie burps like an old lady. Yeah, meows I could handle, but this is like a wheezing snore. Really, full moon? That's funny. Oh, my neighbors used to have this dog named Hank, and he was like a wire-haired dachshund. Like, he was really cute, but his name was Hank. But he would be sitting on the couch, and he would fart, and he would turn around and look at his rear, and then get up and move to another spot. It was funny. A weenie dog, yep, a wire-haired weenie. Farts are always funny to men, but not to women. You do the same thing, Kevin. uh, oh my God, I could just see that. Okay, Max, we will wait for your story. Yep, farts and leaves the room. Yeah, that's what Hank would do. He'd fart, and then he'd turn around, look at his rear, and then like get a disgusted look on his face and go move to the other side of the room. A friend has a fart app on her phone. Oh, I told you guys what I had on my phone. Crop dusting 101. Oh my gosh, Sharpie. Sharpie told a story a couple weeks ago about farting in an elevator, and everybody in the elevator was throwing up. Oh no, Jamie. Oh my God, I was in Lamaze classes with my first baby when I was pregnant with my first baby. And we were supposed to, the teacher told us to write down everything that we had eaten in the last 24 hours. And then we were going to, judge it for nutrition, right? So the whole room was like totally quiet with everybody, husbands included, you go husband and wife to the Lamaze classes. And you write down, everybody was super quiet. The room was quiet. Everybody was busy trying to remember everything they'd eaten in the last 24 hours, and they were writing it down. And in the middle of the total silence, my ex-husband looks over my shoulder at my paper, and he says, "Oh, so that's who ate all the tuna fish." And everybody started laughing, and I turned all red. Not the pickle story. Another time in school assembly being taken by the local archbishop, super silent. You ripped one out and got thrown out of that too. I just started him on it, Bob, so I'm not really sure yet. But he's been doing better the last few weeks, but it hasn't gotten super, super cold like it was that one night. Oh no, so now she'll always think of pickles when she thinks of me, huh? Jesse, thank you. Sharpie. That would be rather obvious. Between Taco Bell and antibiotics, there's a cloud in the bedroom. Oh, shoot. So do you guys want to hear about my truck that I used to have? A really nice truck. Nicest truck I've ever owned before. See, my sister ended up in the ER on her honeymoon, doubled over in pain. The doctor examined her, pushed on her belly, and she farted for about 15 seconds. Turns out she was afraid of her new hubby. Okay. Yeah, I saw that, Melvin. That was pretty funny. You just got slammed with people there for a while. And Nelly Furtado, huh? Mm. Oh, she didn't want to fart in front of him, so she was holding it in. Oh my God! Now there's no stopping her. Yeah, you know that you've been together for a while when you can fart and not worry about it. Question for the ages: should farts have lumps? Um, um, yeah. Okay, Candy. I will wait until to tell about my truck until you get back. True love is pooping while the other is in the shower. Yep. Yeah, that's called a shart. Uh-huh. And when you get to be my age, you got to be real careful of them. Is that what happened, Kevin? She's going to see that when she comes back, Kevin. I'm just warning you. Nope, never trust a fart. Oh, God, Joel. Oh, no, Jesse, that's gross. Dog is looking at you funny. Oh, wow. Huh. Your uncle's a boat maker? Huh. Is that legal to catch them, though, like that and keep them in cages? That seems kind of shouldn't be legal. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. Oh, my gosh. That's a rather extreme measure there, Max. Yeah, when the cat leaves the room, you know you're being bad. See, I told you she would see it, Kevin. I warned you. I warned you. Candy sees all. Yeah, that's rather extreme. But I suppose that he could have gone to jail for doing that. My dad used to work on a tugboat on the Columbia River, and he was a cook. That'd be out like for a week at a time. But I remember him telling me that he was cleaning the coffee pot one day, and he had a SOS pad in it and was scrubbing it. And then he left the SOS pad in it, and he turned it on to like heat it up and like boil some of the stuff out of it. And the owner of the boat came down to the cabin and poured himself a cup of coffee out of it and told my dad it was the best cup of coffee he had ever had. And my dad didn't say anything. Kevin, you're going to get in trouble, Kevin. Remember, Candy's got the power. That was the first crack. I don't have the extensions on the camera, Bob. I should have put the extension cords on it to make it go further. It won't go far enough. And I found out a couple weeks ago that if it comes unplugged, it won't come back on again. The stream's over. Yeah, that's sad, Candy. I don't know what I'll do when Buddy starts getting old. Okay, Jamie. Good night. We'll see you next week. The thing is, when Buddy starts getting really old, and I'm not going to be able to carry him up and down the steps, so if he gets that bad, I'll just have to get him put down. Hi, Slash, which is sad to think about. So I hope he lasts another 4 or 5 years at least, because I don't know what I'll do without my buddy. She might have had a stroke or something, Candy. Yeah. Hi, Kathleen. Slash from Guns N' Roses. Someone should be so kind to all of us when the time comes. Yeah, I know. This is truth. There's truth in that. Yeah, Heather, I really worry about when that happens with Buddy. Buddy I think he's going to be 11 in March. And I'm starting to see little signs of him getting old here and there. Yeah. I'm sorry, Candy. That's not going to be fun. You ruined my setup for Pam. New topic. Okay. I was going to tell you guys about my truck. My truck, yeah. Actually, it was my dad's truck. When I was a kid, when we first started going to Eastern Oregon, we had this old Dodge station wagon. And my dad would take the station wagon where most people wouldn't take a four-wheel drive. And us kids we could be sound asleep in the back seat, and he would yell, and we would be at the bumper pushing before we were even opened our eyes, I swear to God. So anyway, he went from that to he drove that station wagon in the desert for a couple years, and that thing was beat to hell. I mean, it was really beat up. And I found out, which one thing I still remember, is that going over rocks and stuff, if you put a hole in your gas tank, there's one thing that will fix it, and that's chewing gum. But it can't be sugarless chewing gum. It has to be chewing gum with sugar in it. So we always had a big pack of chewing gum in the glove compartment. And he would if he punched a hole in the gas tank, he'd plug it up with the chewing gum and then put tape over the top of it to hold it in place so the sagebrush didn't scrape it off. But anyway, he went in to trade it in. And this is another thing I didn't know until then. He took kerosene, because this Dodge station wagon didn't have any paint left on the sides, and the bottom of it was all beat to crap. And oh my God, I could tell you a couple stories about that car too, that different things that happened. I grew up in Scappoose, Oregon, Kathleen. So anyway, when he went to trade it in, he shined it up with kerosene, which made it look really shiny and nice, right? But it was all scratched up and it was all beat to hell. And he took it in there and prayed that they didn't raise the hood, which sometime I'll tell you the story about what happened under the hood to it. But anyway, then he traded it for a Jeep Wagoneer. And that Jeep Wagoneer was the biggest piece of crap in the world. I mean, we'd drive across this one place that we went, we'd drive across this big flat dry lake. And in the summertime, it'd be about 2 inches of dried alkali, which is like white powder. And the alkali dust would come up through all the floorboards of that Jeep. And you'd be choking, and we all had to wrap bandanas around our faces so we could breathe and stuff. It was really bad. Oh my God, there's another story about that too. I'm going to tell you this about the Jeep. First trip, he was so proud because he had a four-wheel drive, right? He got this Jeep Wagoneer. And we went out to the desert, first trip out hunting arrowheads. And the first thing that happened was we were all choking to death on the dust that was coming up through the floorboards. And then we got out where we were going to hunt arrowheads. And my dad got out of the car, out of the Jeep, and slammed the door, and the window pane fell out and dropped down into the inside of the door. Like the whole window pane just went into the inside of the door. So he did a lot of screaming and cussing because that's what he did. And, oh, you're 2 hours from Portland? Cool. I grew up in Scappoose, so. Anyway, so we all got back in the Jeep, and he found like a dip where he could like drive through the dip and center the wheels over the dip so that he could get out and stand in the dip and be level with the door. And he took the whole door apart, and we're all just sitting there in the car waiting for him because he's not in the best of moods. But he took his door apart, like took the inside of it off, and got the window and put it back on the runner. And then he used some of the gummy stuff from the inside of the door and like kind of set it into it so that it would stay. And rolled it back up and put the whole door back together again. Took the screwdriver and like screwed all the door things back in there. And he got all done, and he climbed back in the Jeep, and he shut his door, and all 4 windows fell out. All 4 windows fell out. Oh my God. So anyway, I was sitting there laughing. I don't know how I survived when I was a kid because my dad had a bad temper, and I would laugh like an idiot. But anyway, so he had that Jeep for quite a few years. And he actually got like a spare gas tank for the Jeep. KG, okay. Oh. Hubby had a Jeep when we dated. Night he gave me an engagement ring. I hit my hand on the roll bar and knocked the diamond off the ring into 4 inches of snow and ice. Oh, no. Anyway, that was a side story that just hit me while I was talking about this truck. And my dad got this truck. And it was a really nice truck. It was a Chevy Scottsdale. And he had, it was like tan colored, and then it had a tan and brown canopy on the back of it. And he fixed up the canopy to where, like, he built over the top of the wheel wells. He put like a big piece of plywood, and it was supported. And then he had drawers underneath of that. 2 great big long drawers that would slide out with all the camping stuff. And then on top of it was a queen size mattress. And then my mom made curtains and stuff. So it was a really nice camping truck. But anyway, so they took it out to Utah one time, and they got on some really rough roads where the truck was crooked and stuff. And that canopy fell apart. Oh, good night, Kim. Is it Kim that's going? Oh, no, it's Slash that's leaving. Good night, Slash. Okay, anyway, so the canopy fell apart, and it really made him mad. Like, the inside of the canopy was lined with wood and stuff, and it was the most expensive canopy that you could get. And it was paneling on the inside and stuff. And when he got on this road where the truck was getting all twisted up, it just ripped that canopy apart on the inside, and like insulation and stuff fell on top of the bed. And when he got to looking at it, when he stopped, it was like stapled together, which really pissed him off. So he made his own canopy for the truck. He took that one off and made his own. And it was really nice. You could not tell that it was a handmade canopy at all. But he made it with the strips of aluminum, the same colors and stuff. And I remember he was trying to get a hold of the aluminum, and he called the company, and they said they wouldn't sell to him unless he was a business. So he waited like 2 weeks and called him back and said he was he was loose canopy and he needed some strips of aluminum and he bought it that way. But anyway, he made a really nice canopy for this truck. So, but when my dad passed away, I bought this truck from my mom. And it was a really nice truck. It was a nice truck. And it was like a 3/4 ton, 4-wheel drive with the canopy on the back. I know I can't say aluminum very good, Kevin, I confess. But anyway, I bought this truck from my mom. And one day when I lived in Eastern Washington, I was coming home from work and I couldn't get it up the hill. I had to go up this big long hill to get to my house. And it would get like part way up and just kind of putter, like sputter and die. So I ended up parking it at the bottom of the hill. And I called a friend of mine to come out and look at it and see if we could get it going. And he looked at it. He said it was one of the fuel filters was plugged up. It's no big deal, right? Well, so he's like putting a new fuel filter on my truck. And I remember I was like leaning against the truck watching him. And there was 2 clamps, like those metal clamps that you tighten up, that he took off the fuel line. And he got all done. And I said, don't you need to put those clamps back? And he says, nah, it doesn't need them. Right? So the next day, I was in town. And I was getting ready to go home. And the car, I stopped at the stop sign, getting ready to pull out on the highway. And the car behind me started honking their horn. And I'm like, what are they honking for? And I was looking in the rearview mirror at them honking their horn and waving at me. And the reason that they were honking at me is because there was gas pouring out from underneath my truck. And there was a big poof. And black smoke started rolling out from underneath the hood. And yeah, my truck was on fire. And I jumped out of the truck because this truck had a 20-gallon gas tank underneath the driver's seat. And it had a 70-gallon auxiliary tank right behind the cab. So I jumped out of the truck and I ran over. There was a gas station next to me. And I ran over to the gas station. I called the fire department. And I'm standing there at the phone booth watching like body parts fall out underneath my truck. Like parts of the motor were falling out underneath of it, right? I was like, oh shit. So the fire department got there and they put out the fire. And wasn't sure what to do. And at the time I was an EMT, so the fire department, they all knew me. So the one guy told me, he says, well, let's just tow it over to the fire station and we'll figure out what to do. And I was like, okay. So they towed it over to the fire station. And real body parts, no, it was truck parts. Truck parts were falling out from underneath. And this was a nice truck too. Damn it. Anyway. But anyway, so they towed it over to the fire station. And a couple days later, one of the firemen called me, and he was a rancher. And he told me that he had a really good mechanic working for him on the ranch. And he says, meet me down at the fire station and we'll take a look at your truck. Because a lot of times those motor fires are just like a flash fire. And they don't do as much damage as you think. So I was like, okay. So I met this guy down at the fire station. We went over to my truck. And I unlocked it and got in, unlocked the hood and raised the hood up. Okay, so I am not a mechanic, but I'm standing behind these 2 guys while they're raising the hood of my truck, right? And when 2 guys raise the hood and take one look inside of it and simultaneously say, Jesus Christ. You know it's not a good thing. Yeah. There was nothing left on the firewall at all. So yeah. That's when I bought that yellow Pinto that I was telling you about. Drove that for a while, and then I ended up getting a little Subaru Brat. But I ended up trading the motor, or not the motor of the truck. I traded the truck as is for a little Subaru Brat. Yeah, it really sucked. And my girlfriend, whose husband was the one that helped me, she called me up and she asked me if it was his fault. And, it doesn't do any good to lay the blame on somebody. And I know damn good and well it was those 2 clamps that he should have put on there, but he didn't. But I never did tell him it was his fault. I said, nah, don't know what happened. Yeah, Kevin is a sicko. That's why we love him. That's right. That Subaru Brat was a hell of a good little truck. That was a good little truck. Yep, that's what it was, Ty. It was one of those old Subaru Brats with the roll cage and the 2 back seats that like sat up against the cab and faced backwards. And that truck would go anywhere. That was a good little truck. Sharpies isn't allowed to talk about bodies. The first year I had that little Subaru Brat, we had like a ton of snow. And I lived down in this canyon about 2 miles out of town. And woke up one morning and it was like, there was feet of snow that had fallen overnight. And I just locked that little Subaru Brat. And the thing is like all summer long, all the ranchers made fun of my little truck, right? They laughed at my little truck all the time. And we had that big snow. And I just locked that little truck I put it in second gear and locked it into 4-wheel drive. And I just walked out of that canyon. And all those ranchers were sitting there with their big Ford trucks and they couldn't get out. I was the only one that got out of the canyon that day. And after that, everybody wanted to buy my little truck. Yeah, Sharpie, I'm not surprised. You sawed a fish tank in half? Phil says Ford. That's what I have now is a Ford. And I've never really liked Fords, but that's just what I ended up with. And that old Ford truck that I have now has 283,000 miles on it, about ready to turn over 284,000. Okay, somebody else must have a story. I've told a bunch of stories tonight. Yeah, I drive a 95 Ford F-150 4-wheel drive truck with 283,000 miles on it. And it is Buddy's truck, yes. Thank you for correcting me because it is. but he just lets me drive it. $39,000 miles on it. Yeah. Fords will go for. I don't like Ford cars much. I like Ford trucks are better than Ford cars. But Fords are generally, the motors are really good, but the bodies fall apart. I know the Ford on mine is falling. The body on my truck is falling apart. Oh wow, Phil, you have about the same truck as me then. Mine's a '95 Ford F-150 with 200 and whatever 83,000 miles on it. So I got more miles than you, but it's the same truck. Mine's a dark blue one with a canopy on it. Mine's the Eddie Bauer edition, which I think it just means that it's a little bit fancier on the interior and stuff. The main problem that I have with my truck is, from what I understand, there's a guy in town here that is a drug addict and notorious for stealing. And he was in prison for a long time, a couple years. And he got out of prison and he drives a truck that looks like mine. And I am constantly being followed and pulled over for nothing. And yeah, I get pulled over and just they'll come up to the window and look at my license and tell me to have a nice night. That happens to me all the time. Or I'll meet a cop coming the other direction and he'll make a U-turn and get behind me and follow me for a while. And it's just like, Megan tells me all the time, Mom, get rid of this truck. But yeah. And I talked to one of the officers one time that came in the store all the time. And we always joke around and stuff when he comes in. And I talked to him about it, and I said, my truck, there's a truck like mine that's red flagged, isn't there? And he's like, oh, no, we don't do that. I'm like, bullshit, you don't. Because I get pulled over and followed all the fucking time. More than is normal. Like, way more than is normal. You'll buy a Pinto wagon? Oh, that was another car that I had that I put like a ton of miles on. I think I had close to 400,000 miles on it when it finally gave up the ghost. And that was a Subaru station wagon. And it was uglier than hell, but that little car just went and went and went and went. I already told you guys about the night that I went to pick up Megan from work and the cop pulled up behind me and was like sneaking up on the back of my truck with his gun drawn. That was exciting. That was when Megan climbed in the truck, and after it was all over with, she climbed in the truck and said, Jesus Christ, Mom, get rid of this truck. Oh, the only reason Buddy lets me drive the truck is because he doesn't have hands to grab the wheel. Other than that, it's totally Buddy's truck. And you don't want to get in on the passenger side because it's coated with dog hair. And with the dog nose art on the inside of the windshield. Stolen rocks, I know, huh? I do take rocks from McDonald's, so maybe that's what it was all about. He was sneaking up to see if I had any stolen rocks in the back end of the truck. What did Sharpie say? Had to go on a Suzuki 1000 motorbike once. Wound open the throttle and dislocated both shoulders. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay, what did Bob say about alternative universe and the Twilight Zone? I don't even want to know. He's probably talking about my stories. Pet rock abuse. Yep. Yeah, it's like, yeah, Ty. I have taken many rocks from McDonald's parking lot. The one here has like big rocks, like about 6 inches or so, and some bigger. So I just kind of like step out of my truck, eating my hamburger, and kind of eye the rocks, and then reach down and grab the ones I want. Ouch, Sharpies. He needs to be wrapped with bubble wrap all the time. Are there any contraband rocks in those innocent rice fishes tank? No, actually, I just got some wood in that. I don't have any rocks in that one. My 40 breeder has some, though. It has like 5 or 6 of them. Get a free rock with your meal. Yeah, it's a happy meal. Happy rock meal. Oh, the F-150s? Yeah. I said wood. I didn't say woody. Well, didn't I tell you last week? I think I did. So excuse me for repeating myself. But when I was living on Cape Cod, there was a big to-do on the news because one of the McDonald's on Cape Cod had gotten in their toys for their Happy Meal, and they were wrapped in like different colors of plastic, so they didn't pay any attention. They just were putting them in the Happy Meals, and they were actually packages of colored condoms, and the parents didn't appreciate it. Yeah, I thought I told you guys that last week. So rocks would be better than that. Yeah, a little surprise in your Happy Meals, Heather. Yeah, it was all over the news. They talked about it for like a week. No, it didn't go over real well with the parents. Nope, the Happy Rock meals are the same price. Yeah, Kentucky Fried Mouse, yuck. And I've seen pictures of like chicken nuggets that had where they accidentally like fried the whole head of the rooster. So it was all like dipped in batter and like, yeah, a little rooster head in your chicken fry or in your chicken nuggets. Yeah. Your kids would cry. Well, I imagine the kids just thought they were balloons. My ex-husband did not have a really great sense of humor. And one year, like when Jesse was little, I was working at a nursing home. And for Christmas that year, I bought a box of Trojans and I emptied them out and I replaced them with those little finger guard things that you get at the nursing homes. You put it over your finger and then roll it down over your finger. And I filled up the box of Trojans with those little finger ones. And he opened them up and he didn't think it was funny. I was like just about wetting my pants. I was laughing so hard and he didn't think it was funny at all. uh, oh no, a missing cracker. Oh dear. Are you talking about my 5-finger discount on the rocks? Oh, Bob watches all the candies. I do too. I never miss one. If you have an Amazon Alexa and are in a Google Hangout with friends, do not leave the room. Ordering extra small condoms is guaranteed to happen. Yeah. Tell us a story 3 from the bottom of the list. I haven't actually done any of the stories off the list yet. I did all of them off of the cup. I have a cup that I wrote stuff down on when I was driving home from work. So I had a cup of tea. And I did all of them, but I didn't even touch the paper yet. Yeah, does anybody know if Corey got his electricity back? Yeah, they did? Oh, good. Oh, good. Then it must not have been off for very long, so that's cool. If it came back on during the night, then he didn't have to set up his generator and stuff. Now, I heard something, but I couldn't find, he hasn't made a video about it, but somebody told me that Joey lost his raise. Has anybody else heard that? I know, Merritt. That's what I haven't, and I haven't seen. I looked through his videos today, and there's no video on it. So I don't know if it's something, if it's a rumor, or if it's like he posted something on Instagram. No, they didn't die. Oh, good. Good, because that upset me when I heard that. I was like, no, please, no. Good. I'm glad that was just a rumor. Okay, so Bob said, tell us a story 3rd from the bottom of the list. That is An ex-husband story. Do you want to hear an ex-husband story? You really wanted to see Big Steen in guard uniform watching over the generator? Oh, Murphy's cam is still down? Hmm. Oh, Candy says it's live. Huh. Did he take the anger management again? He should have for this story. Hi, JC. No, it was one day when they're all ex-husbands, right? Yep, that's true. This was one day when we were living in the Dalles in Oregon, and he would come home for lunch, and it was a hot day in the summertime, and I had the door open, and the screen door had like a corner tear on it, like it flapped open like a 3-corner tear. So I had the door open, the screen door was shut. And we had this old tomcat named Murphy, and he was a big old orange tomcat. And he would jump in and out of the screen whenever he wanted to. But, and I had the couch sitting like dividing the living room and kitchen, so the end of the couch was close to the screen door. So he was home for lunch one day, and I'd made him a sandwich on a hoagie roll. And he had the plate sitting on the arm of the couch. And Murphy, the cat, had jumped in, and he was laying on the floor in between the door and the end of the couch in the ray of sunshine that was coming in. And he was laying there just purring away. And in one motion, the cat like turned and jumped up, hit the side of the couch, grabbed the sandwich, and jumped up the screen door. Oh my God. And my ex-husband ran out the door after him and was screaming and cussing and chasing this cat down the street with a sandwich in his mouth. And one of the neighbor ladies was walking by with her granddaughter, and she covered up her granddaughter's ears. She was walking by and she like covered up her granddaughter's ears. And she talked to me later about it. And she said, what was he going to do if he caught the cat? Was he going to take the sandwich back and eat it, or what? Oh, I'll never forget that. It was pretty funny. But that cat did it so smoothly. Just one motion, just jumped, hit the side of the couch, spun off the couch, grabbed the sandwich, and went out the screen door. I know. What was he going to do with this? If he caught the cat, was he going to take the sandwich back? It's like, what? But he was mad, and he was chasing the cat down the road. Oh, cats can be little assholes. Speaking of which, I got a cat that wants in. I'll be right back. Cat snatched. Yep. There you go, kitty. Yes, buddy. I let the cat back in. Moral of the story, keep your tomcat fed. Yeah. Cat napped. Yep. The sandwich was cat napped. This cat was he was quite the character. He was like totally covered with scars. He was just this big old tomcat. This one lady that lived about a block away from me, and we got to be friends. She had a cat that looked just like Murphy, except it didn't have any scars on it. And she always had like bow ties tied on its collar and stuff, which Murphy would have never put up with that. But she told me after I got to be friends with her, she told me she left the window in her living room partway open so her cat could jump in and out. And her cat would always like jump in the window, walk across the back of the couch, then jump down and go in the kitchen and eat, right? She always had a dish of food out for it. And she says she was sitting watching TV one night, and her cat jumped in the window and went across the back of the couch and jumped down, went in the kitchen, and was eating. And she went out the kitchen for something. She realized it wasn't her cat. It was Murphy. We have 2 pit bulls, but our cat, Trixie, is the boss. Yeah, I have a German Shepherd, Buddy. Well, you see him. And the cat rules the roost. The cat, well, the great big old gray cat that I've got, he will eat out of Buddy's dish and just like turn his head and look at Buddy like, what are you going to do about it? He will like stand in front of the, like in the middle of a doorway and dare Buddy to try to pass through the doorway. He's kind of an asshole, but I love him. But he's definitely the boss of the house. The other thing that happened with this lady and her cat that looked just like Murphy, we were standing at the edge of her yard talking one time, and her cat was sitting there with its pretty little bow on its collar and stuff. And Murphy came across the street, my cat, and he got close to her cat and he hissed and his hair went up. And her cat ran for the house, leaving a trail of shit behind it. Oh, yeah, I've had some awful cats. Yeah, I know. It's like Mario is just awful to Buddy, but at the same time, they'll curl up and sleep together. They definitely love each other. Yep, Kim. That's what Mario's like that too. But then, like I say, they definitely love each other. But the cat's an asshole. Hi, Maple Street. Hi, Brandon. Hello, Brandon. One time when I was living in Livingston, I always slept on the couch because I let Megan have my bed. And so I'd sleep on the couch. And Buddy and Mario both thought that they had to sleep with me. So it was like I'd lay down on the couch and Buddy would lay on top of my feet. And Mario, the cat, he would lay on my stomach, right? So this one night, I woke up and not Mario, Buddy had gotten up and gone out the kitchen and gotten himself a drink. And Mario like stood up on my stomach and he stretched and he kind of looked over his shoulder at where Buddy had gone into the kitchen. And he walked down and took Buddy's spot at my feet, right? So Buddy comes back and he looks at Mario like, what the hell? And Mario's just looking at him like, yeah, what are you going to do about it? So, and Buddy started whining. So I patted my stomach and Buddy jumped up and slept on my stomach, which he's a 90-pound dog. But he slept on my stomach and Mario was a little bit put out. But so the next night I was awake and Buddy got up to get himself a drink. And Mario stood up and stretched, and he looked at my feet at Buddy's spot. And he's like looking and looking, and then you could see his brain ticking, and he's like, nope, and he laid back down again. Like I said, cats can be assholes. Hi, Niecy. Hush, buddy. What? Am I talking about you? Okay, so what am I missing in the chat? Who have you not heard from? Who's missing in action? Oh, I am not a sweet lady, Ed, but I do have asshole cats for sure. Oh, Rick of Bam Aquatics? Huh. I don't remember seeing him for a while either. Yeah, Ed treaded on thin ice. Yep. Pick your words carefully, Ed. Your cats are all nice. My cats aren't. I know I see people with cats that like jump up in their laps and want to be petted and stuff. And my cats don't. It's like Mario likes to, wherever I'm at, he wants to be there. Like right now, he's laying underneath my computer chair. But he doesn't want me to pick him up, and he doesn't want to be petted. He just wants to be where I'm at. And he has to sleep with me. But like I say, he doesn't like to be petted. And he doesn't like to be picked up. Yeah, the black cat gets underneath my rugs and then attacks the other cat when it walks by. It's your second anniversary with your girlfriend today, and she's only had to take you to the hospital once. That's pretty good for 2 years. Yay. Hi, Ellen. Yeah, my cats know their names, but they're not like purring, petting, loving cats at all. Your grandpa's cat is the nicest thing ever. He's like a doll that sheds hair everywhere. Now, my gray cat doesn't shed. He's got that real tight, thick hair and he just doesn't shed. But the black one does a little bit. Yeah, Mario will lay on. Buddy, hush. Don't be jealous of the cats. But Mario will lay on the floor on his back with his belly up. And he's got the fattest, softest belly hair. It's like a real soft tan color, and it's like super soft. But you don't want to pet him. It's a trap. You reach down and touch his belly, and he's got back legs and front legs and teeth. Congratulations, John. So what is Sharpies must be finding his grace. Oh, okay. Second day anniversary. Oh, God, that's funny. Teresa, how did you see what? I missed something again. I get to talking and I don't see what's in the chat. Sharpies hasn't injured anything properly for a while now. Well, that's a good thing. Yeah, the two cats are on the thumbnail on the bed on tonight's stream. Yep, knock on wood, Sharpies. You have dinner. Go eat your dinner. I don't have any more COOKIESs. I ran out. So you got to go eat your dinner. Because there's no more. They're all gone. All gone. There's no more. The rice fish hide and seek stream, yeah. uh, Buddy wants a cookie and I don't have any more. What am I going to do? He's staring at me with his tail wagging. I need to buy some more before next week. It's becoming a tradition. He wants cookies all night long. Oh, buddy, no, go eat your dinner. Go eat your dinner. Oh, Max, that sounds like tremendous fun. Yep, tell him you need a bigger office, Niecy. That would be fun to go fish collecting. There's no fish collecting here in Wyoming because there's fish, but big fish. There's not going to be any little tiny little cute little fish because everything freezes in the wintertime. Have you tried forging treat toys for him? I have never done that. Mild inconvenient, Sharpie. Okay. Oh, thanks, Bob. That makes me feel so good. Dogs eating their owners over less than a cookie. Oh, dear. Australia has some of the best fish, Max. I mean, but I'm sure that there's a lot of them that you can't collect because they're on the endangered list, like those little honey eyes that I want so bad. I think they're like on the endangered list, so I'm sure you can't collect them, but there's still lots of really cool fish that you can. Is that what he's saying, Kim? I'm not surprised. I think that's exactly what he's saying. Okay, Niecy, that sounds good. Usually dogs forced to watch rice fish are those the ones that eat their owners. Okay. ID Exotics. Welcome to the live stream. The dark side of fishdom. I should get a P.O. box. I certainly don't want to give my address away after what happened to Jeff Rose. Every time Buddy barks, your dog goes to the window and wags her tail. Oh, I love discus. I used to have a 75-gallon planted tank with discus. I had it for several years, but I don't really have room now for a 75-gallon tank, so I can't get discus again. Buddy eats anything you give him, but I don't even have any popcorn right now. I can't give him too much people food because it does bad things to his tummy. Good idea, Max. Be really careful about crocodiles. Oh, that's so cool, Jesse. That's one of the things you weren't going to say tonight. I dream of like another big tank of discus, like a really nicely planted discus tank with a wild discus, and then maybe some rummy nose and a couple other kinds of small tetras in with them. That would be so awesome, but I just don't have room for a big tank anymore. Otherwise, I would definitely be getting them. Oh, cool, Bob. You have 4 discus en route from Florida. And some angelfish. Nice. We're back to farts. Yeah, Bob's been getting some really cool fish. Really nice fish. I haven't been getting any new fish other than what the ones that my friend's given me from tearing down his tank. Which he brought me a catfish yesterday and some more some ember tetras. And I've got ember tetras, but I'm keeping these ones separate because he's going to want them back. But I got a Raphael catfish in an empty 10-gallon right now. No, I don't have room for angelfish. I had angelfish for a while too, and I like the discus better. Your angels are not going to be amused. Okay. Oh, buddy, if his tummy gets upset, yeah, he gets like one time the neighbors were barbecuing and they gave him a whole steak. And I spent like 4 days running outside with him every 20 minutes because he had bloody diarrhea that was just like red water. It's like you can't give this dog people food. I mean, it just really, really, really tears his stomach up. Yeah. Buddy would love popcorn too, but I don't have a microwave. And it's kind of hard to find just a regular old-fashioned popcorn that you can make in a frying pan is getting kind of hard to find. Archers are cool. Western rainbows. Some pseudomcgills. Glassfish. Oh, cool. Gudgeons and who knows what else. That sounds awesome. Try pumpkin and goat's milk. Yeah, I'll have to remember the cord next time. But I can't do it now because, like I said, I found out on one stream that if the camera comes unplugged, the stream's done. It won't. You can plug it back in, but the stream won't come back. No, I don't need a microwave. I don't have a microwave because I don't really like them that much. Oh, no. I hated losing fish, especially a discus. Yeah, I don't have one by choice. And I had a great big one in Livingston, and when I moved, I left it behind because I don't really like microwaves. I don't like food cooked in microwaves. I prefer to cook it in the oven. Oh, I'll have to remember that, Nisi. That's a good thing to know. A whole steak will mess with any dog's gut. Yeah, I don't know. I can't. Like another time, the landlord when I was living in Livingston, he gave Buddy a deer bone, and that totally tore his stomach up too. And I can't give him bones. Like most dogs, you can give bones, but I can't give him a bone because he will chew it up into like jagged pieces and then swallow the pieces, which scares the shit out of me. So I won't give him a bone. Or if I do, I'll give it to him and watch him like a hawk. And as soon as it gets down to where it's ready to break apart, I take it away from him. Oh, I bet, Dr. S. I would be crying too. Yeah, stovetop popcorn is the best. Okay, Nisi, I'll remember that. You should have been here about a month ago when I was streaming, just before the stream started. It was like -8 outside, and Buddy had to go to the bathroom. And I took him outside, and he got halfway across the yard and just collapsed. And I had to get him up, like pull on his collar and like drag him back in the house, and his hips wouldn't work going up the steps. I had to like pick up his hips and lift him up to get him up the steps. And it absolutely scared the shit out of me. So I got to remember that, because he loves the cold, and he's always been like, goes out and plays in the snow and stuff. He is going to be 11 in March. So he's getting up there in years. So I got him some vitamins that are supposed to help, and I just started giving them to him. So we'll see what happens. But it makes me really sad that he's getting old. Oh, no, that's okay, Nisi. But yeah, that night really scared me. I mean, it really scared me. So now I make sure that I take him out in the middle of the day and don't take him out at night when it gets cold. I saw that, Sharpies. That was like, I felt so bad for her. That's awful. That was sad. And then her little tank broke too, yeah. Yeah, a lot of dogs, people give dog bones to their dogs to like clean their teeth, but I can't give Buddy bones, because, like I say, the first time I saw him like swallowing the like inch round jagged pieces of bone, I was like, oh no. So I'm afraid they're going to tear up his intestines or something. So Buddy loves bones, but I will not let him eat them. Yeah, I hope that Buddy makes it that long. That was the first time, that night was the first time I'd seen any signs of age on him. And I'm assuming it was like arthritis or something to do with the cold. And the cold's never bothered him before. So, like I say, I have to start being careful with him, because it was really bad. And it scared me a lot. Oh, dehydrated potato. Where do you get that at? I'll have to look for that. Rawhide and pig's ears are not good either. Yeah, I never get. He doesn't like that stuff. I've gotten him like those rawhide chews before, and he's not interested at all in those. Plus, like I said, I'm afraid he'll swallow them whole anyway, because he's kind of like that. Amazon, okay. You have 6 dogs, 5 are over 10, and 2 are over 15. Wow, they're all getting up there. Yeah, I was figuring it out the other day, and Buddy's going to be 11 this March. Which, for a German Shepherd, 11 years old is getting up there. Because big dogs usually don't live as long as small dogs. And German Shepherds are kind of notorious for getting hip dysplasia. But he's 11, and a lot of times I've seen German Shepherds get it at like 6, 7 years old. You can start seeing it. So I'm still hopeful that that's not what's going to get him. Your dogs love the hoof chews. I don't know if that would hurt them or not. I would think it'd be okay. But, look, like I've gotten Buddy before. I've got him like those bacon treats and stuff like that. He doesn't like them. And he doesn't like the little rawhide chews. He doesn't really care for them. He likes bones, but I won't give him bones. And he loves the cookies. And the other thing with Buddy that I found out right away is you cannot give Buddy cheap dog food. Cheap dog food will give him the runs so bad, so he's got to have good dog food. Cheap dog food and people food he can't have much of. Thanks, Nisi. I can't click on it now, but I will after the show's over tonight. I know Buddy's staring at me because he's listening to me talk. And Buddy understands a lot of words. And he definitely understands the C word. Now, Buddy was a rescue, and when I got him, he was super skinny, so I kind of pump him up with good food. But the funny thing about Buddy is he's one of those dogs that you can fill up his dog dish, and he will only eat as much as he wants. Like it can be full for 2 or 3 days, and he'll only eat as much as he wants of it. He won't overeat. I had a dog one time that would eat everything you gave it. Everything. Like we went on vacation one time, and I had my ex-husband's sister come over to feed the dog. And when we got home, the neighbors told me that Susie, the dog, was out in the front yard and she looked so hungry. So they were feeding her all week. And my sister-in-law was feeding her all week too. And she ate every bit of it. Hi, Valley Fish. My ex-sister-in-law. Bob. You knew that. You just have to give me a bad time. Because you're Bob. Oh, that would suck to be allergic to. I love animals. That would suck to be allergic. I had a friend who was allergic to cats, but she was fine around Mario because he doesn't shed. I think it's the dander that they're a lot of times what you're allergic to, and like say Mario doesn't shed, so she was fine with Mario. I know Kim, I can like spell it out and he still knows what I'm spelling. It's like I can spell it and he'll still know. I'm allergic to wasps too. I didn't used to be, but I got stung so many times on my hands when I was folding clothes that I hung outside. And every time I got stung, I would just run cold water on it and not worry about it. And then one day I got stung, and the next morning I woke up and my whole hand was swelled up. And every place that I'd gotten stung for the last month, there was a great big knot. And I called the doctor, and he told me that sometimes the poison can build up in your body. And when you get too much of it, then you're allergic to them. So he told me to be careful because now I will always be allergic to him. Take your Anna. Yep. Quit complaining about it. Oh, Max, you would not do well at my house. Everything in my house is covered with hair, I swear to God. Mostly dog hair, and the passenger seat of my truck has like a white hair blanket on it. If I need to pick anybody up or give anybody a ride, I always take a towel out and, well, I'll vacuum the seat really good and then cover it up with a towel because, yeah. You got stung on the wrist straight into a vein, been allergic since? Yeah. Like I say, my doctor told me that I'd always be allergic to him now. Oh, mustard is, yeah, I miss mustard. Yeah, John is like, I don't know how he survived so long. Okay, Merritt. Thanks for stopping by. It's actually getting late, guys. It's been almost 3 hours, so when you guys are ready, just let me know. Okay, Kathleen, thank you for stopping by. You don't want to face plant on your keyboard. That's a good idea. Are you ready, Bob? You're just too stubborn to die, yeah. Yeah, there's still 29. And Candy says no, and you know she's the boss. She's the mod god. But you could go to bed if you want to, Bob. Well, for heaven's sakes, go to the bathroom. Oh, 27 now. It's like acid to you. That's weird. Yep, we're starting to lose. A few people are going to bed. Oh, it's 3 a.m. there. Yeah, it's almost 1 o'clock here. I could tell another story. Okay, good night, full moon. Thanks for coming in. You're allergic to work. Me too, me too. Okay, good night, Bob. Okay, you guys, so do you want a camping story or a story that's kind of from work? Oh, everybody's going to bed. Maybe I should call it a night. Or should I tell one more story? A camping story? Okay. Bob says work. So we got one work and one camping. Okay, one more. I'll tell the camping story. Whichever involves nudity in public, neither one of them do actually. Oh, this is a story about when I was a kid and camping when we were out arrowhead hunting. And we had a big wall tent. And my dad was always the last one to wake up. And my dad was like a bear until he had his coffee. I mean, he was like worse than I am. He had to have his coffee, and he would growl until he got his coffee, right? So everybody had woken up. My dad was still sleeping. And we heard, yeah, that's where I get it. So anyway, we heard a growl inside the tent because my dad was waking up. And my mom was kind of funny because she never got used to it. It's like I would laugh at my dad quite often. I'm not sure how I survived, but my mom would get really upset. So she went running into the tent to fix his coffee. And she had like a camp stove set up with a little coffee pot that sat on the camp stove. Right? So she goes in to make his coffee, and we heard him growling in there. And all of a sudden we heard this big roar of a growl, and my mom started crying. And me being me, I could not just like let it go and wait. I had to go look. So I went to the tent and I opened it up and looked inside. And what happened is my dad was growling because he wanted his coffee. And my mom was trying to hurry up and get his coffee. And the lid came off the coffee pot when she was pouring his cup. And the whole pot of coffee spilled onto the bottom of his sleeping bag. It's like he dumped the whole pot of coffee onto his sleeping bag. And he was like roaring, and she was crying. And I was standing in the doorway, and I started laughing. Again, I was like laughing so hard I was crying. And he glared at me, and he glared at my mom, and he glared at me, and then pretty soon the corners of his mouth started twitching a little bit. Oh, it was funny. Yeah, no wonder he growled. Yeah. Yep. I was the evil daughter. I really don't know how I survived, because he would be madder than hell and I would start laughing. And I really don't know how I survived my childhood doing that. Oh. Like say my mom would get all upset and be crying, and I'd start laughing my ass off. Blind luck, yeah. I told my aunt one time that I wasn't sure if I survived because I had a weird sense of humor, or if I developed my weird sense of humor to survive. And my aunt told me it's inherited. I definitely was born with it. Oh my God, I've laughed. I had to. Oh my God, Nisi, that reminds me of another story I'll tell real quick. A funeral story. It was like this friend of ours passed away, and we went to his funeral, and another friend of ours went with us. And I left my kids at home, but her daughter was the same age as Courtney, who was about 4 at the time, and she took her 4-year-old daughter with her. So we were sitting at the back of the funeral, and her daughter looked up at the casket, with the open lid, and she said, "You can be mean, Jesse. I can't imagine that." Oh, Sharpie. Anyway, her daughter looked up at the casket, and she said, she nudged her mom, and she said, "Mama," she says, "why is that man in the casket? Why is that man?" No, she said, "Why is that man in the box?" And Jolinda did something that I never would have done with my kids, but she did it. She looked down at her and she told her that he was sleeping, right? And I'm just kind of rolling my eyes even now because I don't agree with that. But anyway, she told Heather that he was sleeping. So the funeral was over, And everybody was filing past the casket and then going past the family and giving their condolences and everything, right? And we were the last in line. And we got up to the casket, and Heather stood on her tiptoes and looked in the casket, and she goes, he looks pretty dead to me. I was like, I had to suck in my breath and like go past the family and make it outside. And then I burst out laughing as soon as I got outside. It was pretty funny. Oh. It was bad of me, but it really, I was holding my breath the whole time I was walking past the family because I didn't want to burst out laughing in front of them. Oh God, I'm so bad. Yeah, kids are truthful. That's what it is. You don't take kids to funerals for that very reason. Oh my God. You guys want to hear one more story that just popped into my head? Okay. So it's the same friend that had the daughter, Heather. Actually, it's going to be two stories in one. Hey, Sean, how are you? I saw you. Hi. Hi, Tennessee. Needs your fix. Okay. So this friend of mine, Jolinda, part of this story is kind of not going to be that. It's going to kind of shock you a little bit. But Jolinda, to set the groundwork for this other story, Jolinda was a little bit younger than me, actually quite a bit younger than me. And her husband's name was Forrest. And they had gotten married when she was pregnant with Heather, and she was 13. And Forrest was 32, right? I'm doing good, Sean. So, and they're still married to this day. So, I mean, I know that's kind of bad, but they're still married and they're happily married. But anyway, Jolinda and I were in this club together with a bunch of old ladies. It was the Cattle Women's Club. We were in Eastern Washington. And most of the women, I was like, Jolinda was the youngest person in the club, and I was second youngest, and everybody else was like in their 60s and 70s, right? And Jolinda and I were good friends. Well, this club had a secret pal thing going on where every February you would draw names. And whoever your secret pal was, you would get them gifts all year long for all the holidays and stuff. And then come the following February, they would find out who their secret pal was, right? So we did our secret pal thing this one February, and I drew Jolinda's name. And she was calling me, like, trying to guess who her secret pal was all the time, and I'd be like, I got her, like, for one gift, I got her plastic flowers, which both of us hate, and in the most garish colors I could, like a bouquet of plastic flowers. So she was trying to guess which one of the old ladies got her plastic flowers. She just really wanted to guess who her secret pal was. Well, that spring, since her and her husband had to get married because she was pregnant, they did a wedding because they never had a real wedding. So for a wedding gift at the meeting beforehand, from her secret pal, who is me, I got her a set of pink flamingos for her yard. And after the meeting was over, she called me up and she's like, oh my God, what am I going to do with these pink flamingos? That all the ladies from the club are going to show up for my wedding. And I can't hurt my secret pal's feelings, but I don't want pink flamingos in my yard. And I was like, all sympathetic to her. And I told her, you're just going to have to put them out. You just, you can't hurt their feelings. They're going to come driving up and expect to see the pink flamingos that they gave you. So, yeah, that was like really bad of me. And then for the wedding day, this is a side story on it. For the wedding day, she asked me if I would make a CD of dance music because after the wedding, they were going to have a reception in their backyard and they had like a big cement patio that they were going to like dance, right? So, so she asked me to make a CD. So when I gave him the CD, I announced to everybody that the last song on the CD was dedicated to Forrest, her husband. Yeah, Jesse, you should be glad you're not my best friend. So anyway, so she had asked me to make the CD, which was really a mistake. But anyway, I dedicated the last song on the CD to her husband, and the song was "Thank Goodness for Little Girls." Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's what it's like to be my friend. Thank heavens for little girls. That's the song. Thank heavens for little girls. Yeah. But it was funny at the end of the year. I know. I'm really bad. Yeah, and you see, it's fun. But at the end of the year, when we revealed our secret pals, it was like she opened up the card and she looked at it, and I'd sign my name to it because that's when you reveal at the end of the year. And she goes, "Oh, it was you." And then her face changed and she looked at me and she goes, "It was you." Okay, good night, Jesse. Mm. Oh my goodness, those were stories that I didn't even have on my list, Candy. See how I am? The fun time war would be on. Yep. Yeah, I didn't break into the stash. The rest of them I'll save for next time. But see, that's what happens is I start talking and then I get reminded with sidetracked with stories. What is the fifth one down? I'm going to save that for next week. It's a work story. Oh my gosh, Sharpie. Huh. Yeah, when I was working at a grocery store one time in Eastern Washington, we had a new box boy, and I sent him in the back room to find tire chains for the carts when it snowed. Uh, because I'm bad. You don't want to work with me and you don't want to be a good friend because you're going to end up getting it sooner or later. Well, that's not so bad, Candy. When I was in art class, and this is something probably only artists are going to understand, but we had a new student and she was writing down everything she needed for the class, and I told her to make sure that she got some vanishing points from the art store. which probably most of you won't understand, but it was pretty funny because she went to the art store and asked them for vanishing points. Oh, Sharpies. I'm bad too because when my dad was in the hospital, I took him a pack of cigarettes, which you can't smoke in the hospital. And he had been complaining because he couldn't smoke, and I took him a pack of cigarettes. I actually don't do watercolors at all, Nisi, so that does not apply. My favorite medium would probably be charcoal. I love working with black and white. And why? Black and white just gets you to the basics. Ah, you're stashing supply ideas for your daughter. They have some really cool pencils. Like another one that I really like is I found some different sepia tone pencils, and you can do some really cool drawings in sepia tones. It's like fun to work with. And I don't do acrylics either because I paint too slow. And while I'm sitting there trying to decide what layer needs to go next, the acrylic paint is drying on my palette. So I use oils. Plus I just like oils. There's something that's kind of old fashioned, but they have a totally different feel to them when they're done. Then acrylic is basically plastic. So I love the oil paints. And one reason that I love charcoals is because, like I say, it kind of breaks it down to the basics, black and white. And one thing that you can do if you're painting in color is take a photograph of your painting and then put it up on your computer screen and take the color out of it. And that's going to show you it, if you've got your good basic darks and lights in there, because a lot of people rely on color. But if you take away the color, their painting is just like grays. And it's because they don't have enough highlights and they don't have enough dark areas. So it's a little trick to make sure that your oil painting's coming out good. Wet palette time. Yeah, I like oils. Your daughter made a mixed media for us at Christmas, chalk, acrylic, and watercolor. Yeah, that'll work. Hey, Pond, welcome to the stream. Actually, we're going to be ending pretty soon because it's been over 3 hours and I'm kind of winding down a little bit, but you made it. Yeah, I like the texture that you can get with oils too. And my oil paints, if you saw them in person, they have a lot of texture on them from the paint strokes and stuff. And especially like animal hair and stuff, you can just about reach out and touch it. But it's a whole different ball game with what you're doing, Sharpie, than doing paintings. So for a cup of coffee, okay. Yeah, you need your coffee. You'd better be drinking it so you can type. My son is into like D&D, and he'll get the little figurines and like paint them so fantastically. It's amazing, with little tiny hairs for brushes, putting in the little detail. I'm still drinking coffee too, Joseph. I didn't know you were still here. I thought you'd like gone to bed long ago. I bet you were napping and you just woke up. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Sharpie. That's like, well, my son can draw and stuff too, but all my kids can. But boy, those models that he does are just like fantastic. Oh, you're working on thumbnails? Yeah, I since I learned about doing thumbnails, I need to go back and redo all of mine, well, all my videos, but I'm probably going to be lazy and just try to do thumbnails on the new ones and forget the old ones. Yeah, my son's a big nerd too. But he's 6'2" or 6'2.5" or almost 6'3" and about 275 pounds and got a full beard and everything. And not many people would have the nerve to call him a nerd, but he is. He's like a big softy. He collects like the old Disney cartoon movies and stuff and loves them. I'm going to get up and get one more cup of coffee because I know I've still got a cup over there. So I'll be right back. Ha, cat. That's my chair. You guys have cats that take your chairs the minute you stand up? That's right, Sharpies totally can spot each other. Oh, Buddy's too big to fit in my chair. If I had a couch, you'd be a couch hog, though. But I don't have a couch right now because instead I have turtles. Or sit on the page you're reading. Yep. Oh, I'm going to have to watch some of them, John, because I like that kind of stuff. I've been watching your videos, but I haven't watched any of the modeling ones yet. Your cats know. Yeah, my cats know that too. That's why it moved when I told it to get out of there. Oh, no, Niecy. Yep, I've got a 100-gallon tub with my turtles in it in the best place in the house for a couch, so I don't have a couch. And then the other wall has a rack of tanks on it, so yeah, I don't have a couch. And I don't need a couch. When I'm in the living room, I sit in my computer chair, and I've got kitchen chairs in the kitchen. So, don't need a couch. Oh, coffee's good. So, off my list of notes that I made, let me see. I told 2 of them. So, see how much good my notes did me? A full basement would be nice, Niecy. My turtles I've had for 12 years, so. My turtles were like the size of a quarter when I got them. And now they're big boys. They're 12 years old. And they had to get upgraded to a 100-gallon tub. Yeah, when I lived in Texas, the area that I lived in, if you stuck a shovel in the ground the next morning to be full of water. So there was no basements. And it was, I was very definitely in Tornado Alley, and there was no basements. So, yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I should get a P.O. box. Maybe I'll get a P.O. box this week, if I remember. Because I'm certainly not going to put my address online. Because we all found out that that's a bad thing. Oh, Joel's been in and out, drifting in and out. I was surprised Joseph's still here. But I'm thinking maybe he fell asleep for a while and woke up again. Yeah, see, you're still here. And I know it's got to be really late there. I mean, like really late. We should all pay Pam a visit. I wouldn't mind people visiting. You're a glutton for punishment, aren't you, Joseph? If you're listening to the whole thing. 4:30 a.m. Shit. Yeah, it's like 1:30 here. Most modern tanks are about 10 inches and 1,000 plus parts. You have to have a lot of patience. A lot of patience, John. Yeah, I do. Candy just posted it. And she posted it again because she is the mod god. And I only opened one up because you guys were asking, so don't feel obligated at all. Teresa turned down the wrong street. Yeah, you should probably pay attention, Teresa. You hate that name, Candy? I like it. Would you rather be called Pandy or the Mod God? Let us know which one you like better. The Queen of Mods? Yeah, Candy, that's your options. The Mod Goddess. That would work too, yeah. But the Mod God has a nice ring to it. Candy's the Mod God, and I'm the Bob Mod because we have to keep track of what Bob's doing. Better than the Troll Catcher, yep. Are you trying to change the subject, Candy? Get me to tell another story? Oh, Joel, don't get yourself in trouble. It's only 9:30 there. Yeah, it's 1:30 here. And it's been 3.5 hours, so I don't know if I should tell another story or if we should call it a night before too long. Eye candy, yeah, I don't think she'd like that very well. I know I wouldn't like that, but it does work. Okay, one more story, a quick one. Let me see what I got on my list because I don't have one off the top of my head. Should I tell a work story or a friend story? Right, Carson. Yeah, right. Uh-huh. Poor Carson. One day when I learn, I'll be here the whole time. You'll never learn, Carson. Never, ever. Oh, the roosters are waking up. Uh-oh. Joel lives in Hobbit Town. Okay, just for candy, I'll tell one more story. I'm trying to decide which one. I'll tell about the stuffed animal. When I was working in Portland in the deli, Megan was little, and I was really good on those machines that you like put in 50 cents, and they grab the stuffed animals. You guys know what I'm talking about. And Megan had like her bedroom. I had shelves up in her bedroom, and all the way around her whole room, it was stuffed animals that I'd won out of those machines. Well, one day I was at work, and the guy came, we had a machine at work with the stuffed animals in it, and the guy came and refilled it. And I looked over, and sitting right on top was this absolutely adorable giraffe. And it had, like, instead of spots, it had the hearts. And then it had the two horns on its head with hearts on the end of them and a big ribbon. And it was so cute. And I wanted that giraffe for Megan. But I still had a long ways to go working. So one of the box boys was walking by, and he was on his lunch. And I asked him, I said, if I give you some money, I said, I'll give you $1. And I said, go over and get that giraffe for me. And he went over and looked at it, and he came back and he said, you're not going to get that giraffe. That was one of them that is just put there to like get people to put money in the machine. You're not going to get the giraffe. And I was like, okay. So as soon as I got off work, I went over and tried. And the little grabber thing, the claw thing, dropped down over the giraffe's head. And when it closed and started raising up, it hooked on the ribbon that was tied around the giraffe's neck. And it swung over to where the hole is, and the claws opened up, and the ribbon was still stuck on the claw, and it wouldn't drop down. So it was like hanging there over the hole, but the giraffe wouldn't come down. So I put another 50 cents in, and I just went up and down with the claw trying to get it to shake the giraffe loose, and it wouldn't come loose. And I wanted that giraffe really bad, and it was mine. It was right there. It was hooked on the ribbon. So I ran back to the deli, and I got a really long set of tongs for deep frying stuff. I mean, we're talking like at least 24-inch tongs. And I went back over the machine, and I was down on my hands and knees and reached up through the hole, and I was trying to grab the giraffe. And I heard a noise beside me, and I kind of looked down, and I saw a pair of dress shoes And I'm kind of, my eyes are going up, and I saw like pressed slacks. And I looked up, and it was a store manager. And he's just standing there with his arms crossed, and he says, "What are you doing, Pam?" And I was like, it's mine. I want it. It's mine. I'm getting it. And he just kind of looked at me and shook his head and walked off. But I got it. And Megan still has the giraffe too. She's just turned 21 and she still has the giraffe. It's one of her favorite toys. No, I didn't get fired. But it kind of scared me for a minute when I saw his shoes. I was like, oh shit. Still smells like a deep fryer though. No, the tongs were clean. The tongs were clean, and I wanted that giraffe really bad. And really, it was mine. I'd gotten it. It just, the ribbon was stuck. So, yeah. Dedicated. Yep. Okay, Joseph, I think we're going to go pretty quick anyways. Thanks for coming in. I hope I didn't make you cringe too much. I have kind of different live streams, I have to admit. We did talk fish a couple times, though. It's because I'm old, Joseph. When you get old, you have lots of stories. Yeah, Nisi, it's getting late. It's like 1:38 here, so. Good night, Joseph. You should have heard some of the stories from a couple of my last streams, Joseph. There's a really good pop-up sex book story. Sex education book. A pop-up sex education book. Oh, good night, Ty. Yeah, I think we're going to shut it down here. You can't stream on Friday because you have a concert, so my no candy is Pam streak can go on. Oh, good morning, S Pro. Unfortunately, we're just getting ready to shut it down. The mouse tails, yeah. I have a few more mouse tales too. Maybe next week I'll tell a mouse tale. Good night, John. Oh, thank you, Candy. Okay, guys, I'm going to shut it down. So good night, everybody. And thank you, everybody, for coming in. And yeah, it was fun. This is kind of like, to me, this is kind of like going out on like a night out with friends without leaving my house. So it's fun for me. So good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.